Finally, the truth is coming out. 4 of the best-selling blood pressure medications can cause serious bodily harm, and in some cases, death. Users are getting dizzy, fatigued, faint, and sick. And yet these drugs do nothing to correct the underlying problem that causes hypertension. That's why I want you to have the names of these potentially harmful drugs. And let me tell you, they include some big ones, like lisinopril and Norvasc. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm also going to show you a safe and natural solution that doesn't treat hypertension, but actually corrects it. Plus, I'll show you what really causes heart disease and its related hypertension. It's not what you've been led to believe. But the good news is, it can easily be reversed. Hello, I'm Dr. Marlene Merritt. I've helped hundreds of patients at my wellness clinic in Austin, Texas, to not just get off these drugs, but to resolve their hypertension once and for all. Thousands more have discovered my natural blood pressure solution online, as you are today. In fact, before I get to the 4 worst drugs, I'd like you to hear from Dan Collins, a retired railway engineer, who despite taking 4 antihypertensive drugs, saw his blood pressure soar to a scary 200/100. Most doctors would have told Dan to call 911. Dan did something else. He prayed, and then found my natural blood pressure solution online. I'll let him tell you what happened next.
I couldn't believe it. In 1 week, I went from 200/100 to 115/75. It was a wonderful feeling, but I didn't tell my wife right away, and she screamed when she saw my meds in the trash. She was afraid I'd have a stroke, but then I showed her the monitor, and she was all smiles.
Also listen to Jonathan Miller, who took blood pressure medications for 20 years before discovering my blood pressure solution.
This morning, my blood pressure was 119/68 with a heart rate of 55. I had to stop taking my medications in a couple of days of starting the program because my blood pressure was too low. I've never seen anything like this. It's a miracle.
I wanted you to hear these success stories so you'd know there's an effective, natural solution waiting for you. But before I tell you all about it, let's look at the 4 worst drugs. You may be taking one of them, or it's generic, and are anxious to make a change. The number 1 worst blood pressure drug is lisinopril, also sold under the names Prenavil and Zestro. Lisinopril racked up 406,180 complaints to the FDA in under 10 years. It can cause nausea, vomiting, fainting, kidney failure, and even heart attacks, the very thing the drug is supposed to prevent. Lisinopril is an ACE inhibitor, which means it blocks the enzyme that constricts your blood vessels as part of the natural regulation of your blood chemistry and pressure. The problem is you're interfering with an important natural process, and doing so can have unintended consequences. When lisinopril works too well, it can cause a rapid loss of blood pressure that makes you swoon with dizziness and even pass out. That's because ACE inhibitors derive from the venom of the Brazilian pit viper, which causes a rapid loss of blood pressure, literally knocking its prey out. If you pass out, you could fall and break a hip or a knee, even fracture your skull, and that could land you in a rehab care facility. Some people never get out of those places. And even if you don't feel weak or dizzy from lisinopril, you could develop a bad cough, which may not clear up for months after stopping the drug. That's because these drugs don't magically do their job and disappear. Your kidneys have to break them down and eliminate their toxic byproducts. Lisinopril makes a byproduct called kinins, and many people have trouble clearing kinins. If they settle in your lungs, the only way to expel them is to hack them up. Users have coughed so hard they've vomited, passed out, and even cracked ribs. Is there a better solution? One that fixes the problem and ends the need for these body-harming drugs? Yes, absolutely there is. I'll show you that solution in 1 minute. You'll be surprised to see how easy it is to do. But first, let's briefly look at the number 2 worst drug, metoprolol succinate. It's sold as Toprol XL and under various generic names. Finally, the FDA is cracking down on this drug after thousands of patients and doctors have flooded the agency with angry calls and letters. Most complaints are for generic versions of this drug, and 90% of the 40 million metoprolol prescriptions filled every year are generic. Generic drugs are commonly manufactured outside the U.S. India is one such place, and the oversight can be lax. Tiny changes can creep into the manufacturing process or are deliberately made to save money, and that's where things can go wrong. But even the brand name can be a problem too. You see, Toprol XL and its kin are beta blockers, a class of blood pressure drugs that inhibits your fight or flight hormone, adrenaline. While it's true less adrenaline will bring your heart rate and blood pressure down, do you really want to mess around with this important hormone? By inhibiting the natural adrenaline flow, you can't be sure you'll get enough when you really need it. For instance, to avoid a fall, or to quickly change lanes when driving, or to deal with a minor crisis at home or work. And a drug like Toprol can zap your strength, make you feel like a zombie. That's why I want to show you how to actually resolve your hypertension, not just treat it with these harsh drugs. In a minute, I'll tell you about the dangers of amlodipine and chlorothiazide, also known as Norvasc and Diuril. But first, let me ask, do you really want to pile on the drugs? Most doctors never take the drugs they prescribe, which is why they can be oblivious to the consequences. They learn in medical school to prescribe this drug for that problem. And if that drug doesn't work, they've been taught to try a different drug or to add another drug or two. You're like a guinea pig with these drug combinations until the doctor gets the numbers he wants. 2 drugs, 3 drugs, maybe even 4 or 5 drugs like Dan and Jonathan were taking. And yet hypertension is not caused by a lack of drugs. There's a reason you have it, and most likely that underlying problem can be corrected. That's what I'm going to show you today, how to actually fix your blood pressure problem so you can get off these drugs and feel good again. I'm sure your doctor will be happy to see you off the drugs if you can get your blood pressure down and keep it down. And I'm confident you can with my natural blood pressure solution. And it's very important because hypertension is a silent killer, a ticking time bomb that could explode at any moment. Every day, it pounds away inside your arteries, putting ever-increasing pressure on the calcified plaque that's built up inside your arteries. And make no mistake, most people have some arterial plaque. And in a moment, I'll show you what actually causes it. I can tell you it's not animal fat or cholesterol as you've been falsely led to believe, but something else that's very common, something you'll want to stop right away. But first, I want you to know that your arteries don't need to be fully clogged or even half clogged. Just some plaque in your arteries can become unstable and dangerous. You see, under constant pressure, a piece of unstable plaque can break off and race downstream. And if it lodges in one of the main arteries feeding your heart, it'll trigger a massive heart attack. And tragically, for many, the first heart attack is the last one, because it kills. A chunk of plaque can also travel to one of your carotid arteries, blocking life-giving oxygen to your brain. That's a stroke. Many people never recover from a stroke. With brain damage, their lives are diminished and even ruined. I want to make sure that never happens. So let's fix the problem, just as I did for Joe W., who says,
"The program Dr. Merritt put me on resulted in a miracle. My high blood pressure plummeted. I was taking 4 blood pressure pills, and I'm now down to half a pill. My cholesterol's down about 30 points too, and with no statin drugs."
My goal is to get Joe off that last half pill. I'm confident we can, and that's because my training is in natural medicine. I'm licensed as a doctor of Oriental Medicine by both the Texas State Board of Medical Examiners and the New Mexico Board of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. I also have a master's degree in nutrition, so I know what your body needs for good health. This is a very different approach than Western medicine, which puts the emphasis on drug therapy. And don't get me wrong, I know some drugs are truly valuable, such as antibiotics that kill deadly infections and emergency room drugs that save lives. But most drugs don't cure anything, they just treat symptoms. And to be honest, they've been designed that way to keep the profits rolling in. Think about it. What's better for drug company profits, a drug you take for 2 weeks or one you take for life? If you have hypertension, Western medicine says you have to take drugs for life. And that's because the drugs never fix this problem. They just treat the ongoing symptoms. But that ends today because I'm going to show you the one solution you need to have healthy blood pressure and end your hypertension once and for all. I'll show you the proof this cure can work for you and your family. You'll also hear from hopeless people who've had their lives changed forever. and you'll see the rock-solid scientific studies. And most important, I'll show you how you can get your hands on this powerful solution for free. Because I want to make sure you and your family have this solution and no longer suffer high blood pressure, my team at Primal Health LP has put everything you need to lower your blood pressure, my entire step-by-step plan, into a 2-part kit called the 90-Day Blood Pressure Solution Kit, a comprehensive approach to targeting the underlying causes of hypertension and controlling your blood pressure naturally. Part 1 of your kit is my powerful book, The Blood Pressure Solution. Over 330,000 people have already claimed their copy of this best-selling book, and my team is ready to mail this 166-page book to your home as part of my 90-Day Blood Pressure Solution Kit today. This is a $47 value, but today it's yours free. So keep watching this video to see how to claim your free kit. But first, let me show you exactly what you're getting. My solution includes dozens of tips and techniques from the latest research from around the world, along with a simple program I've developed for my patients at the Merit Wellness Clinic in Austin, Texas. Thousands have been helped by it, and it's easy to do. Here's just a sampling. Why the American Heart Association has it all wrong on salt. You can enjoy salt again, as long as it's the right kind. Hint, not the one in the dark blue canister, nor any salt substitute. A delicious beverage in a university study lowered blood pressure by 12 points. As good as many drugs. My tasty butter shortcut trick that simplifies what foods to eat. Bacon passes this test with flying colors. But so-called healthy breakfasts like muesli flunk out cold. Why the DASH diet is dead on arrival. It's not just tasteless and impossible for most people to maintain, but can leave your body no choice but to pile on the fat. A simple stress-lowering technique that sends your blood pressure plunging. It's so easy, you can even do it while waiting in traffic. 5 fast exercises you can do at home without any equipment. No grueling or tedious workouts. You get all the health benefits you need in just minutes per week. I'm also going to throw open the doors of Mother Nature's Pharmacy, telling you about dozens of tasty foods and refreshing beverages that can help knock your pressure down fast. For example, the Chinese dragon tea that showed stunning results on a group of men who smoke, drank too much, were overweight, and even ate junk food. When they drank this tea, they had healthier blood pressure than anyone else in the study, including those who deprived themselves with tasteless diets. And here's something else you'll appreciate. My blood pressure solution doesn't just help you get your numbers in check. You'll be surprised to see the pounds melt away, so that you gain new energy and also get relief from stiff, aching joints. That's because my recommendations work synergistically to promote good health throughout your body. In the process, the underlying problem causing your hypertension is vanquished. That's what Fernando from Dallas, Texas discovered. Fernando is practically a neighbor to us, so when he dropped by our office to thank us for this great solution, we got him on tape.
They don't just help your blood pressure. They help your joints, they help your skin, they help your mood, they help your energy, improve your sleep.
I'm confident you can get great results like this too. So let me show you how to use the blood pressure solution. Here are some delicious foods to eat. One of my most popular recommendations for restoring healthy blood pressure is to eat plenty of fat, including both meat and dairy fat. Do you like cheeses? Real butter? How about a juicy steak? All of these foods are healthy foods that won't raise your blood pressure. And when you eat real food with their full fats, you won't gain weight. That's because you'll feel full and satisfied, not plagued by cravings. I do recommend, however, that you avoid foods labeled low-fat or heart-healthy. These foods typically have harmful ingredients that will actually raise your blood pressure. That's where the DASH diet goes wrong. It recommends low-fat foods, but as you'll see in a moment, fat isn't the problem. Sugar is. And most low-fat foods have too much sugar. Are you surprised? Most people are. But the low-fat diet that was promoted by our government, the media, and most food manufacturers was not only dead wrong, but downright deadly. Let me take a moment to show you what went wrong in our food supply. This might make you a little angry, but it explains why you have hypertension and also how to fix it. Once we do this, I'll tell you more about my 90-day blood pressure solution kit and how you can get it mailed directly to your door free today. The problem started decades ago, when the influential Dr. Ansel Keys presented his thesis connecting dietary animal fat to heart disease. This was at the World Health Organization conference in Geneva. Keys had studied the diets of 22 countries, but for his presentation, and to make his thesis stronger, he showed data from just 7 countries. Really just 6 if you combine England and Wales. Keys showed that Japan and Italy had low animal fat consumption and low rates of heart disease, while Australia, Canada, England, and the US had high animal fat consumption and higher rates of heart disease. It was too easy, and nobody should have drawn conclusions, but Keys' 7-country study, which he put into a simplistic chart, raced around the world. Keys made the cover of Time magazine, and perhaps got the fame he wanted. But his theory that animal fat and the cholesterol in it causes heart disease was wrong. The really unfortunate part is that rather than reducing heart disease, his ideas worsened it. That's because in 1977, a committee headed by U.S. Senator George McGovern, after holding hearings on our national diet, issued a set of dietary guidelines designed to reduce dietary animal fat and hopefully heart disease. This caused a world of trouble. And if we had only known. The dietary guidelines led food manufacturers to replace animal fats with processed vegetable fats. The labels on these foods say low fat and heart healthy, but they're not healthy at all. Just the opposite. They're disease makers. Here's why. Animal fat is flavorful, while vegetable fat is not. So to make up for the lost flavor, food manufacturers added refined sugars and salts and also chemical flavor enhancers. But these ingredients trigger a chemical reaction in your body that causes inflammation and oxidation, the drivers of heart disease. The unfortunate result was that this change in our food supply dramatically increased the rates of heart disease, hypertension, arthritis, diabetes, and even cancer and Alzheimer's. Do you remember McDonald's French fries from 3 or 4 decades ago? They were really tasty, and that's because they were fried in beef tallow. But because of the dietary guidelines to reduce animal fat, McDonald's gradually phased out the beef tallow and replaced it with processed vegetable oil, which they've used since 1990. Okay, now stick with me, because this next part is pretty shocking. After Keys wrongly named animal fat and cholesterol as the cause of heart disease, pharmaceutical companies developed cholesterol-lowering drugs. And then to sell them, they promoted the heck out of Keys's bogus theory, and even manipulated the results of statin drug studies to make them look effective when they helped less than 1% of users. Unfortunately, the flawed cholesterol theory got into our medical schools where drug companies hold great sway, and a whole generation of doctors learned it, and then these doctors became the teachers for the next generation. You could call it a comedy of errors, except it was no laughing matter. Statin drugs can damage muscles and even weaken your heart because they block an essential heart nutrient called coenzyme Q10. Today we know better. Enlightened doctors and medical scientists tell us animal fats and cholesterol are not the cause of heart disease, but rather refined vegetable fats and sugars are. Both the Wall Street Journal and Time magazine have reported on this. And finally, our government caught up with the truth when they stated in their 2015 dietary guidelines that cholesterol is not considered a nutrient of concern for overconsumption. That's right, you can't get too much cholesterol. In fact, you need cholesterol for cellular health, for the proper functioning of your neurotransmitters, for bone health, and to make bile for digestion. Several studies have shown that people who have low cholesterol die sooner than people with high cholesterol. And recently, a new national study led by UCLA cardiology professor Dr. Greg Fonarow found that 75% of heart attack victims had normal or optimal cholesterol levels, according to accepted guidelines. Okay, so the problem is not cholesterol, and it's not animal fat. But what then causes the plaque called heart disease? Again, the culprits are refined vegetable fats, sugars, salts, and chemicals, all of which are in thousands of modern foods. You see, refined vegetable fats and sugars cause the oxidation of cholesterol particles, making them small, dense, and sticky. And when the cholesterol particles are small, dense, and sticky, they can easily embed in the linings of your arteries. That triggers an inflammatory immune response that starts the plaque-making process. Basically, your body is trying to heal tiny arterial wounds by making scabs. But a scab inside your arteries is a rough patch, which attracts more small, dense cholesterol particles, triggering more inflammation, and the plaque builds up like a snowdrift. The result is your arteries narrow and your blood pressure rises. you now have hypertension, and you're at risk for heart attack and stroke. But here's the important thing to know. It doesn't really matter whether you have high or low cholesterol. What matters is the health of your cholesterol particles. Are they large and buoyant, traveling smoothly through your arteries? Or are they oxidized, small, dense, and sticky? You need to prevent the latter, and you can prevent it. I'll show you how. The sad part is that this mistake set in motion by Dr. Keyes, and then made worse by do-gooders in our government, led to more people getting arthritis, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, cancer, and Alzheimer's dementia than ever before. But since we can't do anything about past mistakes, let's move forward and solve the problem, naturally. Here's how to get your blood pressure down. To prevent arterial inflammation, cell oxidation, and letting your cholesterol particles become small, dense, and sticky, avoid foods with refined vegetable fats, sugars, salts, and chemical flavor enhancers. Also avoid fast foods, especially those fried in processed vegetable oil, which is highly inflammatory and can start the disease-making process. Instead, eat delicious foods like real butter, all kinds of fresh meats, and also whole-fat dairy products that are low in sugar. Eat nuts and fresh fruits and vegetables. Go ahead and enjoy a steak and cheese and real butter. You can also enjoy avocado, coconut, and olive oil, blueberries and strawberries, green and yellow vegetables, and nutrient-rich yams. You can even put gobs of real butter on your yams for a perfectly healthy treat. I make all of this easy for you in my guidebook, The Blood Pressure Solution. And remember, you can get a free copy today as part of my 90-day blood pressure solution kit. In my book, you'll discover why you should never eat foods with trans fats and how you can easily detect them on food labels. Common foods that seem okay but convert to sugar inside your body, thus increasing inflammation, blood pressure, and the risk of heart disease. The common cooking oils on supermarket shelves that can lead to disease, and the alternatives that are healthy and safe. The mineral that protects against hypertension, and which delicious nut gives you plenty of it. The key mineral that nullifies the adverse effects of salt. Get ready to enjoy more salt. Just make sure it's the right kind, not the one in the dark blue canister. Why you want to consume fresh fruits, but not fruit juices. Plus great sugar substitutes, the ones with no bitter aftertaste, and even measure and bake just like sugar. You can even mix them half and half with sugar to reduce the overall sugar in your diet. Now, in addition to a free copy of the blood pressure solution that we're going to mail directly to your door, I'd also like you to receive a package of free reports that will help you succeed with my simple blood pressure plan. The first is 99 foods that naturally lower blood pressure. It's a good idea to keep some of these foods on hand so you won't be staring into an empty fridge, tempted into making unhealthy choices. Next is Cheat Sheet, Guidelines for Healthy Eating, showing the optimal percentages of fat, protein, and carbs to consume at mealtimes. This is the magic balance that will help you normalize your blood pressure naturally. And just ahead, I'll show you the easy way to do this automatically. Next is how to read a food label. See how to spot the sneaky wording food manufacturers use to hide harmful ingredients, such as refined vegetable fats, sugars, salts, and chemicals, the very things that cause heart disease and hypertension. I'm also going to include my report, The Top 3 Killer Myths About Blood Pressure. You'll see why almost all cases of hypertension can be resolved with a few dietary changes. Why you need to avoid added sugars in your diet, why salt is not a problem if you use the right kind, and finally, why blood pressure drugs may be harmful to your health. When you follow my guidance, day by day you'll feel your blood pressure returning to normal and your energy level going up. Don't be surprised if you lose a few pounds too. So, why take drugs? I think very soon you and your doctor will see that you don't need them. And no, I didn't forget about the third and fourth worst blood pressure drugs. Let's look at them now, and then we'll return to my natural blood pressure solution and how to get your free kit. The number 3 worst drug, amlodipine, sold as Norvasc, and also as Tecamio, Amternide, Caduet, and Lotril. These drugs are notorious for causing headaches, hair loss, intestinal upset, and embarrassing run-for-the-toilet diarrhea. Amlodipine can also hijack your emotions. Maybe not at first, as this is one of those insidious side effects that develops over time, but it can cause depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. Amlodipine is also notorious for causing painful swelling in the ankles and wrists, making it hard to wear shoes and do simple tasks. That's because it's a calcium channel blocker that lowers blood pressure by dampening the electrical signals to your muscles. Your blood vessels constrict less, so the pressure goes down, right along with your motor skills and energy. And then blood starts to pool around your ankles and wrists. If you've been taking amlodipine or a drug that includes it in its formula, you may have already stopped it because of these harsh side effects. But what did your doctor give you in its place? Another drug with more unwanted side effects? Maybe even the number 4 worst drug? Chlorothiazide, sold as Diaril? And also Zestoretic, Losartan, and Valsartan? Diaril can cause bad headaches, blurred vision, lightheadedness, and upset stomach. It also increases your risk of painful muscle cramping, paralysis, seizure, and slipping into a coma. In some cases, it can screw up your heart rhythm so badly your heart stops. Dead. Sure, that's a worst-case scenario, but you never know when you might be that worst case. Here's the problem. Diaril is a diuretic, or what's called a water pill. It flushes excess water and salt out of your system. And while less water in your body means less pressure in your arteries, there's a risk. Diuretics also flush out vital nutrients, including electrolytes, which your body needs to keep your heart rhythm normal. Do you really want to mess around with this natural process? I say let's fix the problem so you won't need drugs. Besides, these natural foods can make drugs obsolete. Remember how topiral and other beta blockers interfere with adrenaline to lower your heart rate and blood pressure? It turns out that a key nutrient in fish can naturally modulate adrenaline. In fact, a study from the University of Pennsylvania found that taking this nutrient for just a few weeks lowered blood pressure. This study confirmed earlier research that showed the nutrient lowered heart rate, adrenaline, and also cortisol, the stress hormone. And rather than popping a nutrient-depleting diuretic pill, why not enjoy this refreshing tropical drink that acts as a natural diuretic but replenishes electrolytes and minerals? And while calcium channel blockers like amlodipine tamper with your heart's electrical circuits to release the tension in blood vessels, you can accomplish the same thing by listening to a certain kind of relaxing music. And finally, even though lisinopril and drugs like it force your blood vessels to dilate, there's another way to relax your blood vessels with a delicious food. This simple food floors high blood pressure. Before this golden cake bakes, the batter is red from a key ingredient that helps lower blood pressure up to 12 points. That's as much as many antihypertensive drugs. What is it? Beet juice. And here's why it works. This baking ingredient, which can also be a healthy beverage, is chock full of a nutrient called nitrates. Don't confuse that with unhealthy nitrites, which are chemicals used to cure processed meats. In your body, nitrates are converted into a natural compound called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide was named the miracle molecule after 3 scientists won the Nobel Prize for discovering it relaxes blood vessels and lowers blood pressure. That's the reason our bodies make it. Unfortunately, our supply of nitric oxide slows to a trickle once we hit our 40s. But when we eat nitrate-rich foods like beets and leafy green vegetables, we replenish it, and that helps lower blood pressure. Here's proof. In a double-blind, placebo-controlled study at Queen Mary University of London, participants who drank a glass of beet juice daily lowered their blood pressure an average of 12 points.
Sound good? My patients think so. And remember, these are just a few of the dozens of tips and techniques you'll discover in the Blood Pressure Solution book. I'll show you how to get your very own copy of this book in half a minute. And I'll also tell you about part 2 of your free kit. But first, I want you to know,
together we can fight and beat the silent killer.
The Blood Pressure Solution is helping to defeat the silent killer every single day. Over 330,000 people have used it from all across the country and with amazing results.
Here's what Betty H. from Mims, Florida says.
I haven't taken any blood pressure meds in a month now, and my pressure went from 154/80 down to 118/68. I couldn't be happier. This is an easy program to follow, and I got great results.
And Mark B. from Corona, California, who achieved startling results in just 2 weeks.
My blood pressure was 162/86, and in just 2 weeks, I got it down to 130/80.
Now remember, I don't advise that you stop your medications or get into a fight with your doctor on this. Very soon, you can show your doctor great numbers, and then he or she will probably reduce your medications or even take you off the drugs entirely. That's what Karen C. from Aldershot, Australia discovered. Karen wrote to us from down under and said,
My doctor just halved my blood pressure medication and said he may cancel it if I keep up the good work. I have had a serious blood pressure drop.
Even medical professionals are discovering some things they never learned in school. Remember Jonathan Miller, who told you about his terrific results at the start? He has been a registered nurse for over 3 decades, and for the last 20 years he was taking blood pressure medications. But since discovering the blood pressure solution, he's drug-free. He says,
"This morning, my blood pressure was 119 over 68 with a heart rate of 55. I had to stop taking my medications in a couple of days of starting the program because my blood pressure was too low. I've never seen anything like this. It's a miracle."
all of these folks achieved amazing results, and pretty quickly too, while at the same time shedding excess pounds. Remember Dan, the railway engineer? He not only saw his blood pressure go way down, but his weight too, losing 20 pounds without breaking a sweat. And Ed H. from Linwood, Washington, who lost 25 pounds.
My weight has dropped from 210 pounds to 185. My blood pressure is now normal, and my energy level has gotten better too, so I definitely have a more positive outlook. Thanks so much for your continued support. It's making a real difference in my life and my family.
The stunning success of Dan, Ed, and Jonathan, and also of Mark, Karen, and Betty, happened for just 2 reasons. First, they discovered the underlying problem causing their high blood pressure. And second, they corrected that problem with the blood pressure solution. The happy result? No more hypertension, no more drugs, no more awful side effects. It's been freeing for them, and it can be for you too.
Watch for the big order button at the bottom of your screen. Just click on it, and you can get your very own copy of the blood pressure solution, along with 4 free bonus reports and part 2 of the solution, which I'll tell you about in a moment. It'll be so much fun to
surprise your doctor with new low numbers. Imagine what it will feel like to go relaxed and confident to your next doctor's visit. And watch the blood pressure cuff as it's wrapped around your arm. Unafraid of what the numbers will show. You're sure to smile when your doctor takes your pressure a second time, then asks, "What have you been doing to get such great numbers?" Just like Angie M. from Walnut Creek, California, who told us,
"It was so easy. My blood pressure was 180, then 170 until I read the book. In 3 weeks, my blood pressure was 118 and some days 120. Even my doc wanted to know what I was doing."
Again, no need to quit your meds or argue with your doctor, as Christopher from Claremont, California discovered when his blood pressure dropped from 160 over 120 to 110 over 60.
I would recommend the blood pressure solution because, in spite of my skepticism, the strategies really work. At the end of the month, my doctor confirmed that such a drastic reduction couldn't possibly be from just taking the drugs, and congratulated me on the improvement.
Okay, but will my 90-day blood pressure solution kit work for you? I'm confident it will, and most likely pretty fast too. Of course, I can't promise that. Everybody is different, but your body possesses the ability to heal itself if you just give it the building blocks it needs for good health. My education, training, and experience with thousands of patients confirm this natural healing principle. And that's really what my 90-day blood pressure solution kit is all about. Just doing the simple things your body wants while stopping the things that are hurting it. This double action will correct the underlying problem that's causing your hypertension, and then you'll feel healthy and energetic again. I've shown you some of these things today, and I've explained why you likely developed hypertension in the first place. Now it's time to get all the details and get started. Everything you need is in my 90-day blood pressure solution kit, which you can get free today. It's not just a collection of tips and techniques, but a synergistic system that attacks high blood pressure holistically from many different angles. As you use it, you'll see that your blood pressure will come down, but at the same time, you'll lose excess weight, boost your energy, slow the aging process, normalize your blood sugar, and prevent illness and disease. And it's easy to do. No strict diet, no tough exercises, no weird regimen. In fact, you'll enjoy many foods you thought were taboo. Let me show you how easy this can be with the addition of part 2 of my 90-day blood pressure solution kit. Remember earlier when we talked about getting the right balance of fats, protein, and carbohydrates in each meal? When you do that, normalizing your blood pressure becomes automatic. And that's going to be easy. Because, In addition to your free copy of the blood pressure solution, you'll also receive part 2 of my 90-day blood pressure solution kit, a 30-day membership to my perfect meal plans for perfect blood pressure. Let me tell you about it. Perfect Meal Plans. This best-selling meal plan takes all the guesswork out of healthy eating. We hired a professional meal planner with a degree in culinary arts to create hundreds of mouth-watering recipes for you. Each meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, adheres to my fat-burning, blood pressure-lowering formula of 65% good fats, 25% lean proteins, and 10% healthy carbs. When you use Perfect Meal Plans, implementing my natural blood pressure solution is both super easy and automatic. And what about grocery shopping for these meals? We've simplified that for you too. Your free 30-day Perfect Meal Plan subscription includes weekly grocery shopping lists to cover all the meals for each week. You'll save both time and money because the lists are organized to speed you through the market sections and on to checkout. Plus, you'll only buy what you need. What's more, on the members' website, you'll find helpful videos on how to prepare the meals, valuable cooking tips, and much more. Most meals take less than 30 minutes to prepare, and all are delicious. And then, as you continue week by week, you'll continue to have access to the meal plans and cooking videos from previous weeks. The variety is excellent, so you're sure to find recipes you love for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. And you can do the recipes in order or choose your favorites. For instance, you can try Wednesday's dinner on Monday night, or Friday's lunch on Sunday, or repeat Tuesday's breakfast from last week as often as you wish. Let me show you a few of these delicious meals. You could start your day with a savory, smoky shrimp omelet with melon. And for dinner, how about chicken stir-fry with mushrooms and green beans? Or sautéed halibut with tricolor peppers? Or beef tenderloin smothered in garlic and mushrooms? In the mood for something spicy? Try the fiery garlic chicken and broccoli, or the Memphis-style pork spare ribs with mac and cheese. You can't go wrong because every meal has a perfect balance of fat, protein, and carbohydrates, all designed to get your blood pressure in the healthy range fast. Many of the meals can be prepared in advance and packed into a lunch or kept in the refrigerator for snacks. This is an amazing addition to my 90-day blood pressure solution kit because we've taken the guesswork out of what to eat. Just follow the recipes and you're sure to succeed. In fact, don't be surprised if you shed a few pounds because when you eat more good fats, you'll burn stored fat for energy rather than accumulating it around your stomach, thighs, and buttocks. Just as Catherine T. did using Perfect Meal Plans. Meals are very good, and I've learned that it does work. My blood pressure is already coming down, and I have lost 10 pounds in the last 3 weeks. It's so easy to use, even for a working person. And how about this from Tim W.? Very happy with the program. Both my wife and I have lost weight and lowered our blood pressure. And this from Jerry D., who also lowered his blood sugar. In the 4 weeks, I have lost a total of 17 pounds, and my blood sugar has gone from the 140 range to the 87 to 110 range. I love the meal plans because they make me feel full. Jerry D. Then, at the end of your free 30-day membership, if you want to continue receiving perfect meal plans and shopping lists, you can do so for just a few pennies a day. The cost is very reasonable, and because you'll be buying just what you need to make the meals, you'll actually save money at the grocery store. I think you'll love your results, just like Jack P. did, who has been using perfect meal plans for a while and wrote to me with this update. I went in last month for my annual checkup. The doctor was very surprised at the results. I have lost 33 pounds. A1C dropped 0.9 points. BP, blood pressure, is running in the 106/68 range. I'm excited and plan on continuing the meal plan. And this one from William D. The meal plans are easy to follow, and I love how I didn't have to guess what to buy and what to eat. In my last checkup, my doctor took me off 3 of my medications and said if my blood pressure continues to stay like this, he can take me off them completely. And how about this one from Tom M.? The shopping list is very nice. The recipes are easy to do and they taste good. Blood pressure has come down ever since we started it. We really like it. As you can see, my 90-day blood pressure solution kit is more than just a step-by-step guide to fix what's causing hypertension. It's a complete program that will normalize your blood pressure and restore your health as fast as possible. That's why I'm including perfect meal plans for perfect blood pressure free for 30 days, along with your free copy of the blood pressure solution and the packet of free reports. It gives you everything you need for success. So with today's special offer, altogether you'll get my 90-day blood pressure solution kit, which includes the blood pressure solution, a $47 value. 99 foods that naturally lower blood pressure, a $24.99 value. Cheat sheet, guidelines for healthy eating, a $9.99 value. How to read a nutritional label, a $14.99 value. The top 3 killer myths about blood pressure, a $9.99 value. 30 days of perfect meal plan recipes and shopping list, a $9.99 value. That is a total value of $116. But today it's yours free. Sound like a wonderful opportunity? It sure is. If you were going to come to my wellness center, you'd be looking to spend anywhere from $360 to $550 for a series of visits to help you succeed on this plan. The first visit alone costs $150, and even then we couldn't cover everything that my 90-day blood pressure solution kit reveals. What's more, if you hired a nutritionist to devise a perfect meal plan for you, that would be hundreds of dollars more. So you can see why I could easily charge $100 for this kit that includes the guidebook, 30 days of meal plan recipes, and 4 special reports. And although I think that's a small price to pay for what this kit can do for your health, I'm going to have my team at Primal Health LP mail the book directly to your door absolutely free. And also make perfect meal plans and the special reports available to you free, instantly. Why make all of this free? Because by watching this video to the end, you've proven that you're committed to solving your blood pressure issues naturally. It's my mission to help as many people as possible. Frankly, high blood pressure is an epidemic. It can and does lead to very serious diseases, and I'd like for you and your family to have my natural solution. So in just 60 seconds, you'll see a button at the bottom of this page that says, Lower My Blood Pressure Now. Just click on it to get started. The entire kit is yours free, and all I ask in return is that you subscribe to my monthly newsletter, Natural Health Connection, so you can keep receiving valuable natural health guidance from me each month. And don't worry, my newsletter is not expensive, just a few cents a day. Do you remember when I said high blood pressure isn't the only disease that can be reversed and even cured? It's true. Conditions like type 2 diabetes, arthritis, neurodegenerative disorders, thyroid conditions, weight problems, heart disease, heartburn and gastrointestinal issues, and over 58 other health issues can be resolved without using prescription drugs. Every month in my newsletter, I share step-by-step guidance on how to fight, reverse, and even cure problems that would otherwise rob you of good health. You'll find that the tips and guidance I provide in my Natural Health Connections newsletter have the same level of detail as my 90-day blood pressure solution kit, which you've sampled in my presentation today. But here's the real advantage. First, you'll receive my guidebook at your door, and you'll access the bonus reports online. These tools will show you step-by-step how to implement my natural 90-day blood pressure solution. You'll also get 30 days of meal plan recipes online, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all perfectly balanced for normalizing blood pressure and blood sugar. And then to stay on track for success, you'll get my support and guidance online each month in the Natural Health Connections newsletter for a full year. Thousands have succeeded with this simple plan, and I know you can too. Just look at the benefits you'll receive as a Natural Health Connections subscriber. Number 1, your free 90-day blood pressure solution kit, which makes implementing my natural blood pressure solution easy and automatic. Number 2, the Natural Health Connections newsletter. Each month, I send you my proven health remedies for preventing and reversing dangerous conditions like high blood sugar, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, arthritis, memory problems, joint pain, heartburn, and many more. I also sort out confusing health information in the news, warn about bad drugs, and tell you about the latest natural medicine breakthroughs. This ensures you always have access to my best cures and remedies. Number 3, full access to my members-only content in our NHC library. Once you're a member of Natural Health Connections, you'll be given special online access to everything I've ever published in the newsletter. The complete library. There's a wealth of valuable information for you in my past issues. Number 4, breaking news e-alerts. Just like other news in the world, healthcare can be unpredictable. Things change, new information is discovered, problems are uncovered. That's why we make sure you're always updated, even between newsletter issues. Whether it's a new drug warning or a natural breakthrough you can use to feel better right now. Number 5, deep discounts for subscribers. We're always negotiating exclusive subscriber discounts for the quality supplements we recommend. You'll see these discounts every month when we email your newsletter issue. These discounts alone are worth twice the price of membership. Number 6, got a health question? All of my subscribers get my email address, so if you have a question, just send me an email. Every month I answer a few readers' questions in the newsletter. Again, Natural Health Connections is not expensive, just $54 for a full year. That's almost half off the regular $94 price, or about 14 cents per day. Becoming a member is simple. Just fill out the form on the next page and pay the small fee to cover the costs of researching and bringing natural health tips and guidance to you every month. Of course, you risk nothing. Your investment in your health is protected with our 100% money-back guarantee. If for any reason during the first 60 days of your membership you decide the newsletter and member benefits are not for you, just email or call us and we'll issue a prompt 100% refund. Of course, you get to keep the 90-day blood pressure solution kit as my gift to you, no matter what. That's right, you're happy or all your money back. And you still keep the 166-page book. And rest assured that every single piece of information, every newsletter article, the reports, the book, and all of the products we recommend are gold seal quality. That's because we take no money from advertisers and exist completely on the generosity of members like you. We take pride in being completely independent, working only for you, not for board members, pharma companies, government entities, or anyone else. So go ahead, subscribe, and claim your 90-day blood pressure solution kit, the blood pressure solution book, the 30 days perfect meal plans, the 4 special reports, and all of the exclusive subscriber benefits. Just click on Lower My Blood Pressure now and you'll be on your way. Do it now. It's an easy decision and I know you'll be glad you made it. As always, to your health, Dr. Marlene.